because
Okay.
God has
Okay.
has kind of made it.
That's a good example. Yeah.
And
Okay.
we'll cover, and this is a big part that I try to do, Mussy, is I find this definition God gives himself in the scripture. And that's what I present.
Okay.
Like, this is a definition that I believe God is revealing in Moses chapter 1. And we'll go through that and kind of give some clarification to that. But then the creation account is the spiritual. Whenever God says I create something, he's only talking about a spiritual bringing into reality.
Okay. No,
Okay?
that's good. That's a good example. Yeah. It's a good example for me
Okay.
to understand.
So this is kind of the thing, that the theme here is that words matter, right? We use those things interchangeably, but God in the scriptures use and reference specific words for specific reasons, and this is where we really have to pay attention. And here are some of the terms that we kind of covered previously, because we already did Moses chapter 1 verses 1 through 10, and there are terms like world that's used in verses 7 and 8, and then earth in verses 5 and 9 of Moses chapter 1. When you see words that we typically lump together or think they're the same thing within the same verse or within the verses next to each other, I would recommend that should be a flag that God is not being colorful with his words to kind of keep it entertaining. He's trying to separate the terms. There's a reason why within the same verse he will use earth and he will use the term world. And we have to say that God's very efficient with his words. The prophets in the scriptures are very efficient with their words. Those mean two different things, and we'll get into detail of that a little bit later. We also talk about the concept of caught up, and this is actually very interesting. In the other episode, we talk about the verses where Paul says he was caught up to the third heaven. Philip is recorded that the Spirit caught him up, and then he basically disappeared in front of the eunuch and wasn't seen anymore. And then also Nephi, when he has his vision where he's caught up to an exceedingly high mountain, that I'm making the claim here that they are physically taken somewhere else. It's not like just in their mind. And actually, you know what's interesting,